Hello and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo. We're here at Emerson College, Hollywood, and delighted to be joined with Lizette and Hisonni with their fantastic movie, Henrietta. Let's take a look at the clip.
Gabby, grow up. Go home.
Dejó a Manny porque abusaba a niños. Desde los 10 años hasta los 18 me hacía cosas.
Yes. ¿Empezó cuándo?
Cuando fuiste a esa prisión, sí. Pero mamá...
I am so happy to be with you both because you're just super talented. Like, what can we say?
Thank you.
Like, seriously. Thanks so much for bringing your film to New Filmmakers LA. As you knew from our audience last night, they thoroughly enjoyed it. But for those that haven't seen it, tell us a brief synopsis, Hisonni.
Well, this film is about a young Latina woman who is recently released from prison, has a dead-end job, and is estranged from her family when her younger sister comes waltzing into her job and tells her that her stepfather has been abusing her the entire decade she's been in prison. And she has to decide on if her freedom is worth making this situation right or not.
It's brilliant. Like, honestly, it was one of those films that I didn't want to end because I was so invested in the characters. And we're going to come to your amazing performance, Lizette, in a second. Where did the inspiration come for you in creating this story?
Well, the inspiration came from kind of true life events. I experienced something as a young man, about 11 or 12 years old, that was just way out of the scope of what a 12-year-old should be experiencing. Similar things, someone in my family had been taken advantage of. But the strange thing that happened was that I encountered these individuals who were just ready to enact violence at any moment. And I, being a Christian kid, I didn't want to go to hell, violence wasn't my thing, testosterone hadn't hit, and it was just interesting seeing how far these men were willing to go to make sure the person in my family had things made right. And it always stuck with me. I always wanted to do a character who essentially was, you ever hear that that quote that says, "You sleep soundly at night because rough men stand ready." I think there are people who are just born in the wrong period of time, and violence is the language they speak. And our protagonist is just one of those people.
Well, speaking of which, Lizette, like we had so many compliments of your amazing performance last night from the audience, and you did such an incredible job. Like, I just thought your character was so well defined, and you articulated it so well, it looked fantastic on camera. I mean, you did in front and behind camera, like how has the experience been for you? And tell us a little bit about how you got involved and obviously your roles that you took on as well.
The experience has been really great because we're hitting the festival run right now, and coming to the festivals and getting to network with a bunch of people has been probably the most important part of it. You know, you put something out there and you just hope for that good feedback. You hope for people to enjoy it, and it feels so good that people were telling me that everybody was talking, or people were talking about it. That's a lot for me because you're in the moment and you just hope for the best.
I just want to say as well, like, I mean, touching on such an important subject as well. I mean, I've certainly got myself and other people victims of sexual abuse, and just how hurtful and destroying that is for families. And everybody kind of was rooting for you and was rooting for your character to get your own back. How was that feeling taking on a role? Because I mean, goodness me, like, this was hard. This was a hard story, but unfortunately exists in many families. And how was that experience?
That was very hard because I didn't grow up in that kind of like family lifestyle, like that rough, gangster kind of, I didn't grow up that way. So I had to do a lot of research. I was on YouTube, finding prison stories or just, figuring out more deep down who people are and what got them there, and and what happens after they leave prison, stuff like that. I was like researching. I watched a lot of Punisher.
Yeah.
Because I felt
Yeah.
like the Punisher, he was he was a good guy.
Yeah.
But like he wanted to also make the wrong people pay.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of thing. And I feel like with her, she just felt like you know, this is my only way to
Yeah.
make good things right again.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
how I love you is this is how I'm gonna show you I love you.
Yeah, sacrificing pretty much
Yeah.
your life, you know, in the future as well. Hisonni, this was such a great film to watch on camera. It was so exquisitely shot. The color grading, the production design, it was just great. The shots, like, you know, on your character Lizette, like so much was just so poignant and a great cinematic experience. Did you kind of have a vision about how you wanted to shoot it and how you did, because it was so effective?
Yes. I shot listed the hell out of this film several different ways, you know, reference photos, just written shot lists, and none of it happened the way I hoped. Like, we got to set, well, we're filmmakers that kind of work with what we have. We're in Las Vegas, shout out. We're in Las Vegas, and it's not the epicenter of filmmaking like Los Angeles is. It's a place where you have a dream, but you definitely are aware that you're gonna have to work with what you have. So getting the locations, I wasn't able to work with those locations in the manner in which I was gonna shoot in them until the night I was there. So I had never seen the diner dark before.
Oh, really?
I had no idea what the lighting was gonna be like, or
Yeah.
what the lighting outside was gonna be, outside the windows were gonna be like. Same thing with the convenience store. So there was a lot of, oh, this is what I have to work with now. Even in terms of packing my equipment, I had to pack lighting kits that would work for this scenario or that scenario, and make choices in the moment. But that is kind of the beauty of indie film,
Yeah.
is that I'm aware of my situation and I go into making all of my films looking for the moment to evolve into what I need. And it does. I'm lucky. I think there's an element of luck that I have the right people to work with, that I've finally embraced the idea that I don't have to know everything once I arrive to set.
Yeah.
I can let it come to me by the end of the day.
I felt like you got a good little dream team here. I'm just saying, it feels good, you know.
It's definitely working out.
what I mean, listen, the stakes are high in this film, and I'm just so very curious. Like, how do you, like, obviously working together as an, you know, as actor and director? How is that dynamic, and what kind of things you do to kind of raise those stakes?
Well, we have a process for sure. We wrote together, and the writing process was really dope. Like, I think the majority of the work happened before we ever picked up a camera, because we set up rehearsals once a week with the primary cast, and they would rehearse and I would rewrite. They would rehearse, I would rewrite. So there was like 8 or 9 drafts because we had 8 or 9 rehearsals. And then with the wardrobe, we created like boards essentially to figure out what each person would be wearing, and that informed the characters a lot. Even the tattoos that the character has were things we picked out along the way. So the world really took shape, and it took shape collaboratively. Not even just me and Lizette, but each actor, because the script was written completely in English, knowing that we were going to pick the points, the most important points, to switch to Spanish, because this is a Spanish-speaking family.
Yeah.
And we figured they would only say what mattered most when they needed you to listen.
Yeah.
And I had to take that from my casts, because I'm not.
Yeah.
So.
And from your perspective, Lizette, as well, like, you know, as a co-writer writing it, and obviously, I love that you mentioned about the fact, the mix of language, and how different the language was when it was in Spanish, when it was in English, and the kind of poignance of the language was in Spanish, because it was kind of more personal, more defined.
Right.
How was that experience co-writing that, and did you always kind of know how you were going to do that?
No, but it's intimidating because, you know, the Spanish culture, I mean, they judge you too. So you want to make sure you do it in a way that is respectful and, like, is authentic and, you know, real, I guess. And so with the Spanglish, you know, we all, like Hispanics, we talk it. So I wanted to make sure it really was the way how we would do it. And it's mostly when we're in anger mode or something, it's gonna come out, you know, stuff like that, or that emotional part. That's when the passion is when we say the Spanish. And so I wanted to make sure with the feedback from the other cast is adding that into the script, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it worked well.
I
Just
mean, yeah.
little, and it wasn't too much. We didn't have too much Spanish, but it was just, I think it was just a good level.
Well, what I really appreciated as well is you left us in moments, particularly of your character Lizette, where you just left us with the camera and your thoughts, and that was so special. Was that always the plan? Was to kind of just beyond the script? Was just to kind of leave in a moment with you of what was going on in your mind? Was that kind of something that you were trying to do, or how?
You probably had some of those shots
There
planned out.
Everything. I would say that things ended up a little bit better than my original idea.
Oh, that's always refreshing.
Like
Yeah.
again, allowing it to come to you. And there were some shots where we were essentially done with the principal, and I was editing, and I would call everybody, and be like, "Hey, are you free? Because I have this idea." And we would go out, like the whole opening sequence of the boss yelling at her. That happened
wasn't
after the
even
film
on
was
the
edited.
script. Yeah.
Oh, really?
I was like, I think I have an idea.
Right.
I ran it by her. She responded that, that magic where it was like, I get it. Yes, I want to do it, and I have an actor. And then, the scene with the sisters embracing, that wasn't
Yeah.
originally in
Yeah,
the script.
that wasn't in there.
Wow.
So but it's one of the more powerful setups
Yeah.
of the entire film, and that was me calling Lizette and feeling kind of bad because as a filmmaker, you pride yourself on making your days and finishing at a certain point, but having the courage to call and ask because you feel it will genuinely contribute something to the film that is meaningful and important, and trusting them to see it as that rather than just another day of work. So
Yeah.
I think the film definitely exceeded expectations in terms of what we were hoping for. We got
great.
lucky.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
skillful, good
Because
team.
even on that day, that one shot with the sisters embracing, I mean, it rained that day, and it was like,
wow.
oh well,
Production
it was just
value.
like perfect.
In Vegas?
Yeah.
Oh goodness, come
Well,
on.
Well, it was
Wet
a
down.
15-minute rain.
The
like,
15-minute, yeah, but still, right? Still, it holds things up. Well, as co-writers and making this project, and just as filmmakers, we'll start with you, Lizette. What did you kind of want your audience to take from your film?
Oh man, that's a hard. Really never thought of it. I think to just listen to victims. I guess. I mean, as much as like she in the moment was feeling some type of way, she still had to be there for her sister.
Yeah.
It still comes down to family.
Yeah.
And just listening, especially in those moments when that kind of secret is being told. And so I think that was the part that I was hoping the audience would embrace.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we can be there for each other.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. Anything else to add with that, Hisonni?
Yeah. That there can be dignified people in non-dignified situations.
Yes.
And
it will.
I mean, I grew up just seeing it all the time. There are people who embody both sides of things. Like there are people who can be beautiful people and extremely violent.
Yeah.
There are people who are doing things right now to survive that we deem bad or wrong. But if we knew a little bit more about it, we'd probably cheer them on.
Right.
Absolutely.
Or at least help. And I think my MO as a filmmaker is to portray any culture or race or background as dignified as I can, regardless of the situation, because I do think there's dignity to be found in just about any situation.
Well, I mean, both of you heard from your audience last night. I mean, they were cheering on your character. They knew that, unfortunately, with the system, the way that things were going to happen, but
Yeah.
which is unfortunate because, wouldn't you want to fight for your family?
Right.
Wouldn't you do that? Wouldn't you want to do the same thing? And so, but everyone was cheering on your character for, kind of coming through the way that she
Yeah.
did.
I feel like she just didn't have nothing to lose also.
No.
It's just like,
She had everything to lose.
Yeah. Well, the sad thing is she was such a you wanted her to have a beautiful life and come out of prison and just have a good good world and everything else, and she sacrificed with absolute bottom heart of her love for her sister and for her family and did the most dignified thing. And I just was like, no, can we just not put her back? Like, you know what I mean?
That's
And it was
exactly what
but
I
I
was
feel
hoping
like she
for.
kind of like, in a way, like when she didn't have nothing to lose, in a way I see it that way because I felt like she was fine being in prison. Like
Yeah.
she was okay with that life.
Yeah.
So it's like being in this real normal life was so annoying
Yeah.
to her, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, okay, let's just lose it. I don't care.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
love how you can interpret it. Like, that is
Yeah.
absolutely true. We went into the film talking about a person who was out of place in society.
Yeah.
Like, she was probably a queen in
Yeah.
jail because her abilities and her mindset
Yeah.
makes her a apex predator. in there.
Absolutely.
But when
yeah.
you come out, you're a waiter.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
but to
And with a dress on.
Yeah.
put her in a situation where we see her truly care about something
Yeah.
and have to give that up was my favorite part of the film. That's why
Yeah.
adding that sequence with the sisters embracing
Mhm.
and her saying like, I'll see you at home. And
Yeah.
knowing that by the end of the film, you're never going home.
Yeah.
You're never ever going home. And I'm okay with it. I'm gonna
Yeah.
have a drink.
Yeah.
And I feel like everybody,
Like,
everybody was okay
This was
with
worth it.
Yeah.
It shocks me every time we get a response.
Yeah.
Every time people were cheering slightly, as soon as she pops the cork on her beer, like, yo, like, I'm so shocked that people, because you could classify it easily as bloodlust,
Yeah.
but it's something else.
It's something else.
It's something
else.
Now we're
And-
trying to figure out.
and I think that anyone that knows anyone that's been through any abuse of any sort, your character was doing the one thing they wish they could do to fight back on people that have
Yes.
hurt people that they love. And I think that resignation is universal as well as unique to this great story. But I'm so proud of you both. Honestly, this film was with me for a long time, and I think our audience felt the same way, and you've done a really, really great job. I want more of this whole story and this world you created, but what is next for you together and individually?
Together, I don't know. Hopefully maybe another short film, maybe in the next year. For me, I'm just trying to get to a place that I can land like an agent and a manager. So I'm like trying to get more credits on like big productions. And you know, as an actor, you gotta start somewhere.
Yeah,
I'm
for
just
sure.
trying to get there. with
Yeah.
that.
Well, you should be having them lining up after this performance, so well done. Yeah.
I am finishing a short film about a teacher who has reoccurring nightmares about gun violence, and then when he wakes up, he loses students to gun violence. And
Oh
over the
my
course of one
goodness.
hellish night, he's trying to actually prevent the student he had a dream about from actually having that horrible outcome happen. And I'm planning on doing a feature sometime next year called The Beautiful Brain of Billy Bendecito, which is my first time taking on mental health. And it's a beautiful story. It's like Do the Right Thing meets Everything Everywhere All at Once. And it's a Dominican, Afro-Latino protagonist, and the commentary is all about mental health, and the cause of it is could being a person of color in America cause you to go crazy, or is it a genetic genetic origin of that condition? So it should be a lot of fun.
Oh, I'm ready for it all. Can you make it now? I want to see it right now. This is
I'm getting ready for it.
amazing.
I'm getting ready for it.
No, really, really great job. You're very proud of Henrietta. I can't wait to continue to see both of your work. But thanks so much for bringing it to us at New Filmmakers, and well done on making the film.
Thank you so
So
much.
thank
You guys
you.
have been
Thank you.
amazing.
Thank
We're
you.
so thankful to be part of it.
Thank you. Hisonni and Lizette, everyone. New Filmmakers right there. Henrietta, thank you very much, everybody.